And we're back. And we have a co-host. Just like that.
Clyde Jr.
Good job, Kai. Welcome, everyone.
The petty
Athletics
prince has
LLC.
arrived.
I know, the petty prince. I love that. I thought of that at the same time. Yeah,
That's
you too.
right.
You too. Well, the show already started off cuter than it ever has in the last 4.5 years. So love it. Love it, love it, love it. Governor, how are you tonight?
Just rolling with this schizophrenic weather.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to keep from passing out due to severe allergies and whatever's floating around in the air. We had 43 mile per hour winds today. You know, going from 90 degrees yesterday to 59 today to the high of 50 tomorrow. Woohoo! And then we go right back up the roller coaster ride. We'll be back in the 80s by Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
It's that time of year, folks. Gotta love it.
Oh man, it's a lot. I work for Seiko. Do people even know what Seiko is anymore?
Yes.
After this,
you see the governor's face. This is one of my better names. Oh, I'm pretty sure after this world record didn't get ratified, everybody knows who Seiko is.
No.
I'm doing well. I think that's what you were asking me. I'm looking forward to.
You take too long. Hurry up.
Yeah, I'm done. I'm fine.
Clyde, how are you tonight?
Chewy asked you a question. How are you? Are you good? All good?
All thumbs up.
Blow a kiss to Chewy.
Nah. Oh, thanks. Well, I don't know about y'all, but my show is already better because I got this love from Kai.
No, wait.
That's right.
Sorry, Micah, you got some competition now.
How'd you do that?
Well, every show is a good show, and every day is a good day that we get to see and engage with Kai. So, well, let's talk about the obvious. We are the in-betweener week of the end of conference championships, and then into the NCAA championships for Division I. I know the other divisions are going right now as well too, or like getting ready to go, but we're going to highlight Division I. Sheesh. Let's wrap that up because there's a lot.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to take myself seriously by laughing at Kai reenact the Kimbo Slice backyard beatdown video.
Shit. Oh shit.
Oh, please mute him. For the FCC comes and gets us for child abuse.
My bad.
Yeah, you're bad.
My bad. I can't even.
It's your fault.
I can push it.
Okay. Hit the mute button. Oh my God.
Clyde, that is your son.
My
I
God.
bet Daddy loved them.
I can't even right now.
Oh,
Okay.
my stitches.
Clyde,
No,
hit mute,
start without
please.
me.
Hit mute. Oh my God.
Gosh,
I
that
can't.
was so
That was the
funny.
best.
Okay.
Well, on that note,
the 60, the men's 60. Let's just start there.
Yep.
The men's 60. I'll start it off with the one that I put into the group chat very quickly after it happened. The men's 60 in the Big 12 featured a false start. And you literally could hear the air come out of everybody. It was crazy. But also, so this is what I do positively have to say about that is Terrence Jones exited the track, of course, got his gear, whatever, he was up, but he was right back on the rail as soon as he could be to welcome his teammates off the track. And that was awesome to see. And sure, you could see the saltiness, but you can see him there for as the camaraderie and his brothers came off the track. And that was awesome to see. And even Coach Kitley gave him a little dab, like, good job, you know. So that was amazing to see that camaraderie.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting enough. The same thing happened at our conference meet. The top 60-meter guy false started, and his teammates, USF teammates, you know, held it down for him. And yeah, I mean, that's, you know, it's interesting that you started with the 60.
I mean,
because are we going to talk about the ACC 60?
Well, hold on. Since we're talking about the 60, first of all, I'm personally offended that the Big 12 allowed Texas Tech to play with them like that.
Oh, Lord.
You can't put 6 people in the final. Now, I've done it at lower level conference meets before. We've seen it. It's the Big 12.
Yeah.
How y'all allow these people to play with you like this? That
but
was
it's
wild.
not even allowed. Like, as someone who had to fall victim to it, like they did it.
Turkey.
Like they executed.
I mean,
Everybody
660
else
was the
executed.
6th fastest guy,
Yep.
So it was, I mean, everybody wore
right?
it.
If you
And
run
then-
660, you make a conference final.
You can't have that. I'm sorry, you just can't have it. But to your point, the 60 is one of many events that we knew and predicted would be disrespectful this year. When you turn on the TV or the stream and you see 6 people in one event at the Big 12 championship, it's disrespectful. But I'm here for it. 6:59 is the cutoff. And please, on to the ACC shenanigans in the 60.
Yeah.
I work for
let's hear
Seiko.
this,
What
Governor.
did you see?
I believe, what's the phrase? It appears he may have caught a flyer.
They have caught a fly. Yes.
Um,
And it's funny.
listen,
I mean,
I've seen some false starts not called before. I
yeah.
don't think I've ever seen one where literally a whole foot was on the ground.
Well, it seems like everything that we're going to talk about ties in to the end of the show. And it's, you know, I mean, you can't ask for more than that. If we have blocks with sensors, that does not happen.
Tell them the
There
truth,
is
sir.
that.
No, but I also feel like in that case, like, I'm not trying to be funny, you also have starters' eyes that are open, because that was not a block sensor necessary false start.
No.
That had that ocular proof.
Right.
That was like, bouch. But you know what? Look, man, I'll say it like this: the person who loses out in that is the next 659 that didn't get in.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I mean, like the event is so crazy that multiple 659s didn't get in. So like, it's nuts.
Yeah.
So wait, to that point, and that's the part.
But as crazy as
that's the part I was trying to get to. Respectfully, who was the young man who won the race with the flyer?
Cameron Rose ran 6:58.
And he's in the show.
And he's in the
That
show.
performance.
he's in the show.
He's in the show. Number 16, 15, 14, 13. Number 13.
13.
So yeah, like for me, when you see a video like that, I mean, I don't know what the rules are on this, but whoever the first guy is, the first guy's out at 59, I'm filing a protest. Like I'm sending emails because that performance put him in the meet.
Yeah.
100%. 100%.
Boy.
The wild thing about, to me, is like, let's get past the false startedness of it, right? Is as crazy as the 60 has been all year, and we've talked about it, it at this point pales in comparison to the craziness and shenanigans of the 200s, the 400s, and the 6 hurdles.
Oh, yes.
Right? Because the 400s slow roasted. Did you guys remember this? 2 weeks. So going into Valentine's weekend, we talked about the fact that every year at the Tyson meet, the 400 starts to heat up.
Yep.
Somebody left the pot on boil.
Oh, yeah.
Because
45-85 is the last.
45-85 and a backup time is the last time in.
Yes.
Because 45-85 without a backup time,
Right.
because at the conference meet he ran the 60 and the 200 because his coaches, probably rightfully so, thought, well, he doesn't need to run the quarter because he's good. Yeah. And he's at that. Well, he's not at the house. He's running the 200 as the last guy in. Because the 200 is what, 2067?
67.
Insane.
There's no world where you run 2069 under a roof and you're not in the meet until this year.
Hey, I got the hurdles wrong. I thought
the hurdles is insane.
I thought it was going to be 68, and that would have been wildly disrespectful. Nope, it's 66.
Yes.
All the 68s are out.
68s and 69s. You run under 770 and you don't make the NCAA meet. And that is, we talked about this once before. What is elite at the high school level is the same as it was 10 years ago. But what is elite at the collegiate level is ridiculously more ridiculous now than it was 10 years ago. So the problem that is happening in recruiting, and it like the portal fixes the problem, but this is what makes what I'm saying even worse for the high school kids. You can be an elite level high school kid and not be an elite level college person at the same time. It didn't used to be that way. If you were elite at the high school level, right, we all knew what that meant at the next level. But now you could be the best kid in the country and still not be worthy of a full because your performance not be a conference level scorer in a Power 5 conference. Because what's happening in college track is outrageous. In a good way. In a good way.
What is obvious? And, you know, we were products of it back in our heyday when we understood that the greatest era in our events, you were in it. Well, that's happening in college. Right. So these kids are now operating and thinking like, well, 665 isn't good enough. 660 is not good enough. Right. And the consistency, I mean, if you look at last year's times and this year's times, considering the insane amount of people that, insanely talented group of people that moved on, this group just slotted right in and said, we're going to keep this ship floating. That's what we're going to do. Because it is just as good.
This country and many others that is inside.
Is he breaking up for you guys as well?
Yes, he is.
Okay, I didn't want to make sure it was just me.
Oh no, he froze.
Yeah, and I turned off. I took that. Yep. Well, anyway, what's next, True? Well, any other there is one other crazy performance we have.
We don't know
Miss
you.
Miss Esther trying to I said there is one more crazy performance for sure from the conference we have to talk about. Miss 2 meters since she got to college.
We don't know what you're saying.
She
You're too broken up. Oh, he's trying to tell us that we missed something at 60 or in the conference meet wrap up. Not quite sure what it was, but hopefully we
I don't
can
understand
regain him.
myself.
So, anyways, anything else that you can think of off the that else that you want to highlight from conference weekend?
I mean, there were highlights all over the country from conference weekend.
Mhm.
I will definitely take a point of personal privilege and shout out our fantastic young lady, Amelia Solstron, who performed her lifetime best 14:09 in the triple jump and currently sits #1 in the nation, heading into NCAAs. Big day
That
for
is
her. She's
awesome.
been chasing that distance for a while, and was really proud of her and Tyron for pulling it off.
Why don't you just
Yeah.
legal name him?
Oh yeah. Gotta legally name it. Gotta get his government name on there.
I mean, you might as well put the J in there too.
Wow, that was really funny.
While we're blowing our horns, I want to give a shout out to Ida Bregan, my freshman, sitting #3 in the country in the long jump. What a battle. And it started from the New Mexico meet where she went head to head with Olajide Funimai, I want to say. I'm sorry, I probably butchered that, from SMU. And to see a senior and a freshman going at it, I think that the battle lines were drawn going into Birmingham, and to jump the distances. I mean, you know, her nemesis goes out and opens up with 6:49 and then goes 6:53 and is kind of like, what you got? And she responds with 6:46 and then 6:58. Here's my card right here. And fantastic competition. So I hope that magic keeps going all the way through into Boston. But it just adds to the parity. I mean, I went through, and to see out of the 16, I say on average there are about 4 or 5 non-power 5 jumpers in each list. And it says a lot. I think they're coaches that are getting it done. Shout out to Wyoming. They have 2 athletes heading into the meet in the long jump.
Mountain West, baby.
What's that?
Mountain West.
That's right. That's right. So really, really, really happy about the way things are going, and I've heard good things about the runway there, so it should be fun.
Can y'all hear me this time?
No, you have the signal ever. You look
So-
fuzzy and you sound worse.
I know. Why don't you text us one of your things? But anyways, we'll move on.
Turn your camera off and we'll just have to be soothed by your voice.
Wow.
Can you actually hear me?
No,
No,
you sound
actually,
like a
no.
robot.
It might be your your pods low on battery or something.
I don't know.
Things that stood out from the conference weekend continued. If you haven't had the pleasure of watching Jamisha Ford from South Carolina run, she's a star.
Yep.
And I mean, it's nationals, so everybody that's there is fast and everybody is capable, but I don't really see anybody getting close to her in the 200. I mean, it's different. She's different right now. And you know, her 4x4 leg was amazing. And of course, the narrative is that wasn't Arkansas's A team, and we get that, but she rolled, like absolutely rolled. And that was a fun race to watch. The Arkansas women have the top 4 seeds in the national meet 400.
They sure
1,
do.
2, 3, and 4. And of course, they have a 5th in the competition. So that should be fun for everybody.
Well, what I think is more interesting is that they're doubling.
Yeah.
That's why I think it's going to be interesting. It's a tough ask, but if it works,
and they're asking 3 of them to do it.
If it works,
if it works, it's a wrap.
Yeah, if it works, the meet's over. Can we talk about 202.86 is the cutoff in the 8?
Yeah,
Woo.
that's crazy.
And that was late in the season, like,
yeah,
you know, but I mean, it's great. 147 right now, mid, I think, in the 800.
Yeah.
I mean, that's going to make for a crowded race. So it took 22.97 to make it in the 200.
yeah.
Indoors. We're not talking about outdoors.
So while we're geeking out over the amazing times put up, as we should, something else that stood out to me about conference weekend, and it wasn't just in this particular conference, but of course, this is the best conference. This is the conference with the most airtime and the most light and the most shine. If it just means more in the SEC,
Oh boy.
and I'm going to need the announcing crew
Oh boy.
to get it together.
Oh boy.
Because the announcing crew for the SEC meet was fumbling the bag all meet. I would personally, it started for me, well, not started. One of the more funnier ones was Parker Valby goes out there and runs in the slow section solo to get her 3,000 meter qualifier off. And of course, Parker's amazing. But the conversation is, well, when she ultimately has to pick one of these events, why are you just speculating on things you don't know? Of course, she's doubling.
What? Why would she pick them? Everybody, listen. Everybody who is entered in the 3K is going to run the 3K because it's the last event of the meet.
Yes.
Right. But it's like she's going to go out there and run this time trial and set this incredible time of 8:42.2 by herself just so she could potentially not run it in Boston. Like,
yeah, no chance.
What are we doing here? And I'm sorry, can someone tell me who the hell Grand Holloway is? Because I've never heard of Grand Holloway, but I distinctly remember for 4 years watching Grant Holloway never lose a 60-meter dash and break the conference record and the world record and the NCAA record. And somehow ESPN created a graphic that said Grand Holloway.
And all of that is bad, but none of it is as bad as the guy who was on the call for the 2 previous world records indoors in the 400, not knowing that the call that he was on the 3rd time was the world record when he crossed the line. I had no clue. It's bad enough that you don't know, but it's really bad when you announce the other 2.
Had no clue. Like, was surprised by it. It almost sounded like someone nudged him and was like, yo, that's the world record.
Well, he didn't even have time to get it out because Dan stepped in and was like, yo.
I promise you, go back and watch the SEC playback. When the women's hurdles were on the track, they had Aaliyah Armstrong's seasonal best at 760. as if we didn't just watch the world records get reset twice in the past 2 weeks at 67. So I'm like, when did that happen? Like, I don't understand the unprofessionalism. And that's not a word, but that's the point of what's happening right now. And it wasn't just in that conference. In our own conference, I come home Sunday, I sit down, I'm a nerd, I want to watch the broadcast. Clueless. Like, no mention of our sophomore who just won the 400 dethroning his teammate who, as a freshman, won the 400, and now both of them have knocked, the immortal Tommy Smith off the top of the SJSU record books. These people said, and I kid you not, they call themselves Speed City. Like we made it up. Like we just decided that we were fast, and so, hey, it's Houston, we're Speed City. No. Houston made that up. There's actually a story behind that title, and if you're announcing our conference meet, you should probably know that and speak to it if you're going to mention it. I don't know. It was wild. So the sports journalism folks need to step it up.
Do your research, take notes, be ready.
Like, it's not hard. It's not difficult. But it does require a little bit of respect for the job that you're going to sit down and do.
I mean, 99% of the things they talk about on the television are Googleable.
Yes.
Right? They don't need to put in like Otto tidbits because he was there, or like the occasional, Chris Huffman's mouse Kareem tidbits because we were there. You don't have to put those in there. Just use the stuff from the Google.
I mean, in most cases, if you just know what happened the year before and the year before that, it's enough to tell compelling stories. Maybe. I don't know. But yeah.
On a lighter note, did you guys know that Tom Brady from Michigan qualified in the 5K for the NCAA championships?
Listen, we've all seen Tom Brady's combine video. He sprints like a 5K-er kinda. We're not surprised.
Tom Brady from Michigan, 13-24-16. Okay? Don't say I didn't warn you. He has come out of retirement.
That's the sleeper pick.
This is sleeper.
I promise you, if we're doing pick 'em, I'm taking Tom Brady.
So we're picking the 5K.
Bet against him.
Now wait, before we get off this topic, because it's all connected, right? There is a wave of talk right now in the ether that once all the conference meets were settled and the lists are out, that a good proportion of the distance qualifiers have all come from the BU track.
A good portion,
good, or all of them.
It might be all.
That is a good portion. All.
I just want to say to the conspiracy theorists out there, there's nothing wrong with the BU track. It's just awesome. Get past
it. I don't think it's the only, but the issue for it is, and we've talked about this in our group chat, right? The track is elevated and permanent, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like they don't take it down. It doesn't get put back together looser, right? It sits on a permanent structure, and I would imagine therefore that the give back in conjunction with the new shoes is probably maximized.
Yes. Well,
right.
The reason why,
and the super shoes have done the most statistical damage in the distance races. No question about that.
Well, if you think about it, the world record in the 200, which, I mean, sub 20, was set in Liévin, France, which is a track that was literally dug out from the earth. It's a
permanent substance. Yep.
Inside. So there's something to be said to that.
The launch pad. We love it.
Before we move off this conference, I've been trying to say this and gargling and blah, blah, blah. 2 meters was jumped
Yeah.
this weekend.
Absolutely.
And
Yes,
I
it
was
was.
not getting off this topic until we gave that young lady her props, because she's been trying to jump 2 meters since she was a freshman.
Yes. Yep. And you could see the emotion on her face. Like she collapses in the pit, gets up, and it's like, man, you understand, like this has been lifelong.
Yeah.
You know, like she's been trying to do this. I got a chance to talk to her coach. Just happened to be in the airport at the same time as A&M when we were flying back. And Mario explained to me that, you know, because she had 2 fouls and she was literally trying to, you know, almost kind of talking herself out of it. But guess who was standing beside Mario and literally just shouted out, "It's just a bar." Brian Wellman.
Wow.
Brian Wellman was there, literally put it in perspective. It's just a bar. Just jump it.
Bermuda strikes again. Hit him, buddy.
Well,
Wow.
and to that, which that's an awesome story. Miss Diston is so gifted.
Yes.
We've all had athletes and watched athletes. It doesn't matter if it's 2 meters or, you know, a lower number. Everybody struggles with a number.
Yeah.
She's so gifted now that she has it. I wouldn't be surprised at all if she jumped significantly higher moving
Sky's the
forward.
limit. And proverbially, sky's the limit now. Like,
Mhm.
you know.
When I saw the video, it looked like she had room on the bar.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So that's nasty. So nasty.
What's next, Chew?
So we've tiptoed around it, and now we're just gonna put a big fat stomp on it. There are a number of bullet points when you put the topic World Athletics up at this point this week. Some good, some bad, maybe a good and some bad. But nonetheless, World Athletics is definitely a topic and a hot one at that. So we can start with the one. So there's a smooth transition. We had an incredible, like literally incredible mark set at a championship at SEC's. We had the quarter miler who ran 44 and change, but has been openly discussed that it will not be ratified, nor anybody will be pursuing to get it ratified. And the governor, would you mind telling people if they don't know, which I don't know how they don't know, why it
I
will
was gonna
not be
say,
ratified?
people who don't know track know what
Well,
know at this point.
let's just take a step back. So the event happens and World Athletics posts that it happened.
Mhm.
World record, da da da. How long afterwards? Maybe the next day?
Yeah.
I don't, it wasn't that long.
I don't think it was even a full 24 hours.
Word
It was
starts
next
to
morning.
trickle out that this world record may not be ratified because starting blocks with sensors were not used in the race. And right away, we start thinking back to Michael Norman at Clemson,
Texas A&M.
Texas A&M,
Yeah.
breaking the world record, and that record was not ratified. So the precedent was set. There was an equal event that happened, and why are we here in 2024 and dealing with the same thing, right? It's a situation that is fixable. You're talking about the SEC here. You're talking about any member institution being able to provide those blocks to have those blocks ready to go. And, you know, in my opinion, you know, we can blame World Athletics. We know what's happening with World Athletics, what they're trying to do. They're trying to force their hand and their will on anybody that wants to ratify a record, that wants to make sure their track meet counts, that all those things. They're now
But you might need to use my Seiko blocks.
exactly. So they're playing bully ball now, right? And they're trying to establish themselves as the standard. We are the PGA. We are the WTA, right? And that's the part that's, you know, I don't know that there's any solution other than complying with the rules.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well said. We, and by we, I mean Athletics LLC, and we, the populace of track fans and track coaches and track athletes, take a lot of shots at World Athletics.
Yeah.
And 98% of that, I think, is well justified. This particular problem, and I want to start out by saying Christopher Morales, the rightful world record holder, broke the rightful world record owned by Michael Norman. I don't care about ratifications. Now, I do care about ratifications if no drug testing happened.
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason for that.
But drug testing did happen.
But drug testing did happen.
Yes.
Right.
I am blown away because I was ready. When I heard that the record may not be ratified because of non-sanctioned blocks, I was ready to rant on my soapbox, on social media, on this show. I went back and I watched the Karan Clement world record in that same building damn near 20 years ago.
Yep.
And in my brain, I just knew that they didn't have any electronic blocks in that race. So what's the difference?
Mm-hmm.
Only oops, they did. So this is 100% the SEC's fault.
Yeah.
How you got the blocks 20 years ago, but you don't have them now?
Right.
That is a level of incompetence that's tough for me to swallow. Again, since it just means more.
Yep.
It's my conference. I'm a graduate. How are we having this problem? That is a stupid problem to have and a stupid decision to make, especially since there's at least 4 or 5 events where you could reasonably think that you might see a world record.
Right.
Absolutely.
So I want to know who's making these decisions, because it's not like you're broke. It's not like it can't be fixed. It's just laziness. And laziness has cost this kid a world record. And I do mean a kid, he's a freaking sophomore.
Yeah.
So sure, he could do it again, but he shouldn't have to. It's his record.
And that's just
and there is no assumption that he can do
that's
it
an
again.
awfully tall assumption. We can't assume anything at this point.
The last person to break the world record in the 400 indoors twice is Michael Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Right?
it's
So
not
let's not assume that that's going to happen again.
Yeah.
Because Karan is a great athlete. Michael Norman are great athletes, right? Like
they never did it again.
They never did it again.
Wade didn't do it again. like you robbed this kid of the moment of his life.
Yeah.
And so when you look at it in the full context of what happened, this kid did something completely amazing that shocked himself, shocked his team, shocked the building, apparently shocked the announcers because they didn't even know it was a world record. And then a day later, oops, it's not anymore. Like, what are we doing here, people?
Let me listen. I know I'm always I always try to be a contrarian to some degree, but I like to point out things that could happen before they happen. What if someone at World Indoors this coming weekend runs faster than the previous world record, but slower than this young gentleman ran this weekend? And that record is going to then be verified and ratified as the world record.
So 44-49.
Right.
Just
44-50.
Yeah.
Yep.
Tucked right in between.
Just tucked right in there. Right.
So,
and the reason why, like that having messy record books makes no sense, because this isn't if you can have these things, you should have these things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's just that simple. Right. If you don't have censor blocks at the, at the February 3rd high school meet outdoors, sure, I'll buy that.
Right.
You don't need to have them, more than likely. Right. But if you have world-class caliber athletes competing, you should probably have these things if possible. But speaking of world-class athletes and money.
Oh, wait. Because the governor threw in a point that we shouldn't let just fly out there. World Athletics playing bully ball.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, my name says it all.
Listen, they are playing bully ball. I don't have a problem with it in these type of spaces. Because again, if what we do is whine about professionalism,
sure, then
this is what professionalism looks like.
I mean, listen, I don't usually agree with you, but I am 100% in agreement, lockstep with you on that one. This is what professionalism looks like.
Yeah. And I did an interview earlier today, and the way I described it is like we're in the mid-haircut phase of world athletics. They're trying to establish themselves as the authority, right? They pretty much have the right to sanction or not sanction events based on their rules, right? And it's up to whatever entity it is to comply or not comply, right? We have now entered a stage now where if you, and it doesn't matter what level you're at, let's just say you have an international kid on your team that has a chance to break their national record. All of a sudden, you're looking at your schedule and you're making phone calls and you're going, hey, is your meet on the calendar?
That's right.
Because if it's not, sorry, I can't run my kid there.
That's right.
And that's what it is now, right? And I feel like we either take those steps. We talk about how the NCAA meet is being disrespected. Well, the criteria is there to raise the level of the NCAA meet in terms of points. It's been laid out for us, right? So I don't think that there's an impossible solution to this. But are we going to take the steps to give these athletes the opportunity to raise their level? Because let's put it this way. What is an Adidas or a Nike or a Mizuno or whoever going to think about a kid that has run the world record, but it's not ratified? Is that going to stop them from paying top dollar to this kid?
Yes. because what we all know is they're only going to pay what they have to pay.
Yes.
Right. And people forget, like, so this young man didn't just lose the world record. Listen, that's a big deal, right? He lost the Canadian national record.
Yeah. Which is
right.
A big deal.
People understand, you got to understand, like, these things mean things. And, like, there's a reason world records have to be ratified. That's all I can say to any of that. There is a reason. The timing block system is a funny one, and my name is obviously in relation to it because there are only two companies that do these blocks. It's Seiko and Omega, and those are your options, right? So whenever there's a monopoly or an almost monopoly, you're going to pay way more than you should for this service. But at the end of the day, it is what it is.
Yep.
Right. Whatever Omega and Seiko are paying to make sure that their blocks are being used at major championships and their block technology is what is used for ratification. Whatever they've paid for it, this scenario has made sure that it was worth it.
Yeah.
Right? Like this scenario has made sure beyond a shadow of a doubt, whatever it is that it costs, the funds will be allocated to pay for it.
Yep.
Well, all I can say on that note is I arrive in Boston next week. I don't have anybody that's going to be in a block ready to set a world record, but I better see the proper blocks on the track because other people are capable.
For sure. I alluded to this, and I don't want to steal our lovely host's thunder, but it was too good of a segue. Speaking of money and world-class performances, World Athletics put out what I'm sure they were very proud of, which was a very boastful text on Instagram and probably on Twitter that $2.29 million in prize money is going to be given out at the World Championships.
Pennies.
So the unfortunate part is the initial, because of the world we live in, to people who don't know track, they initially thought that was to the winner. Right? And
right.
So then they read the post and realize, because they give the financial breakdown, we already know this because we've known for a long time that the money that they are competing for World Championships is the same as the money as Kareem and I competed for in the 90s.
Yep.
Right. But what I thought was funny is, because I never read the comments to stuff, and y'all know this, but I read the comments for once because I was like, this is going to be entertaining. And everybody came for exactly what jumped out at the page for me as well. It wasn't the $40,000 for winning, which is more money that's ever been. It wasn't 20 for silver. What everybody came for is they only pay 6th places indoors for the World Championships, and 6th place is $4,000. So you're 6th globally.
That's right.
There is no sport in the world where you get 6th place in a global championship and get $4,000.
Hey.
And it's like, tell me you're broke without telling me you're broke. That's what that post said.
Hey. If I'm the 6th best in the world at any discipline,
anything
other than this, I feel like I'd be a millionaire.
Yeah.
Now, that could be a wild.
Every global sport, probably.
Damn, a sport. If I'm the 6th best dentist in the world, I'm pretty sure I'm a millionaire.
For sure. That's for sure.
So hey, I don't really know what we're supposed to do with that, but somebody loosely in the track world texted me that same question. You see the post? They're paying $2 million to the winner. I was like, winner of what? No, they're not.
Yeah, no, they're not.
No, they're not.
The best comment in there, the best comment on the post was, they're not even making G League starter money.
Which is true.
And listen, it hurts my heart because look, track was my life. But that is so true, right? Like, because every other sports money has increased with the cost of bread and the
Yeah.
cost of gas and the cost of housing.
Mhm.
But the money you can win at a global championship in track and field has not increased even remotely commensurate to inflation.
No way.
And in some cases, it's gone down. Oh. And the bad part is, right, like trying to explain to someone that this is better than it was 5 years ago is so painful. Like, it's so painful to admit that.
Yeah. Just because it is the Olympic year, what's the prize money for the Olympic medals?
Including all the money that the IOC gives you,
Yes.
and including the money that the USOC gives you as well.
Yes.
Zero.
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 The Olympic gold is nothing.
Nothing.
I tried to explain to somebody the math. In 2000, so I'm sure the number is much larger now. In 2000, it was $40 million for any company to be an official Olympic sponsor and therefore brandish things with the rings. Right?
Right.
All of those companies pay all of that money to the IOC. The IOC pays all their bills. They build buildings. They send out, black private cars for all the IOC delegates at all the track meets, right?
World Athletics family, baby.
And then do God knows what with the rest of the billions of dollars. Right? Because there's only 21 events. Right? I mean, I think that's right. Well, I mean, we got the mixed relay and the marathon. I don't know what maybe it's 23.
Sure.
Okay, so it's 46, right? You got each gender.
Yeah.
It seems to me one sponsor would pay for $1 million to each winner.
Boy.
That's one sponsor. There are thousands of Olympic sponsors.
And this is the part that is so like it's ass backwards. I can't help it. I talked about this, I don't know how many shows ago. If it was announced that $1 million was going to the winner, do you know what that would do for viewership? It's
Right.
like, where are you?
Right. Because people want to see the spectacle.
People will want to see. Okay.
That's why our sport is on streaming services, because in the production meeting, somebody from pick a network says, what are they competing for? And someone clears their throat and says with their chest out, $40,000.
I'm pretty sure you win more than $40,000 for the cornhole championships.
Yes. Funny, but not funny. It's true.
Like, that's the deal, right? It's just like, it's the reason why shoe contracts for certain events are ridiculously low. It's the reason why you got to have a streaming subscription to 3 different things, right? And stay up to the middle of the night to watch anything that's global in track, because nobody can take us seriously as a professional league and a professional entity when $2.29 million buys the best of the entire league.
Hey.
It buys everybody's roster.
Listen, this
right?
the only
$2.29 million buys 1 through 6 in all the events.
This is the way I phrased it to one of our kids today. I don't watch a lot of reality TV, but I love MTV's The Challenge.
Yeah.
I've been watching it my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
They pay $250K to the winner of the damn challenge.
They paid $250,000 to the winner of this game show I just started watching, The Floor.
Yes.
I mean, $40,000 is that's not first prize for anything that's global.
Isn't The Floor on NBC?
I believe so.
So hey, I'm just saying.
So speaking of streaming, who's gonna call who to wake up at 4:45 a.m. on Friday,
Right.
4:50 a.m. on Saturday, and 4:55 a.m. on Sunday? Who's gonna be the
Is that
I'll
East Coast?
probably be up.
Is that East Coast?
That is East Coast. That's
Well, I might be
EST.
awake then. You know, one is on at 1. I'll be up.
Right?
Oh
That's
my gosh.
smooth 3:45, 3:50, and 3:55 a.m. I got you.
Done.
Crazy.
We will be an absolute mess come Monday.
Just
I mean,
insanity.
on top of, right?
Oh boy.
All right. So another shenanigistic characteristic
Well,
attributed to.
before you go,
Oh,
speaking of, like, again, another opportunity lost, the announcement of Noah Lyle's extension.
And no money.
One of the greatest ever. The
And no
most
money.
That's
lucrative contracts ever signed. What is it? Huh?
Wait,
what is it?
it gets worse and more nefarious. In the announcement, they make reference to the Paul Bunyan tale of the supposed
Yes.
$10 million
Yes.
that Bolt got.
Yep.
Right now, I know two people on this screen know what the real numbers were, and we won't get into that.
Right.
But they make reference to the Paul Bunyan tale of the mystery supposed $10 million contract.
Biggest since Bolt.
Right.
not even bigger than.
Right.
Just
Right. Biggest since. And here's the thing. We all know that might not actually even be true, because we know somebody else's contract has some provisos and such that contract is relatively large.
Yep.
So
And at the end of the day, we blow the whole opportunity is to tell the world that you're millionaires.
Here's what irritates me about that whole scene. And let me be very, very clear. Props to Noah, well deserved. Whatever your number is, bro, you deserved it. I hope you're happy. You know, do your thing. But this is the problem. Our best and top athletes for every generation keep signing up for the secrecy nonsense.
Non-disclosure.
Because it's all about what I'm going to get. And you would all get more and be worthy of more if everybody knew what the numbers were.
Yes.
That's how Kirk Cousins can get the richest deal in the world. And then Dak Prescott is in line for the richest deal in the world. And that allows, you know, the actual best quarterback, Patrick Mahomes, to say, look, here's my number, and we'll do it this way because I said so. Like, if everybody's contract was in secret and it was just rumored how much they got, everybody would be making less. And I don't understand why we haven't figured this out. So I'm not here
for the record, that's college coaches as well.
Mm-hmm.
Same problem.
100%.
Same problem.
100%. I'm not here for any of this. It's nonsense.
If you want to stop being broke, start telling people how broke you are.
Yes.
Because people listen. As big as a star as Noah and Sha'Carri and Grant are, if the American public knew what they made, and they make a lot of money, but if American public knew what they made, they'd be like, that's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
That's all they make.
Right. That's it.
So really, the only thing we have to really to put as a marker is DeGrass's deal, which that was way back in 2015, and it was
And that leaked. It's not like it was put
yeah,
out there. It
yeah,
leaked.
at 2.25 a year, which again, that was 9 years ago. So, we don't know what it is now, but that's literally the only major contract outside of the legendary Bolt contract and then the preceding lifetime contract that we still don't really know what it is. But all it does, this is what creates the false market in track and field. And this is what will continue to create the false market because you really don't know.
And the funniest part, just to tie up a bow on something that we discussed a while ago, it's why so many athletes are so mad about how much money Max Siegel makes, because his contract is public. But what people don't understand, if you compare his contract to other contracts of people who do jobs like his, it's sort of commensurate.
Yeah.
Right? It's just that his constituency is paid pennies compared to their peers. That's the problem, right? It's not that Max makes too much. It's that the athletes make too little. And the athletes make too little because they won't talk about the fact that they make too little.
Yeah.
Yeah, Max ain't the one creating the salaries for the athletes.
That's never be mad at somebody for collecting the check.
Well,
right? You should be mad at the entire group of World Athletics athletes who are still happy to compete for 40 grand and zero in the Olympic year.
Well, it is the Olympic year, and you'll hear me say this later on in the year as we get to the trials, but I'll just say it now. Athletes, there's no Olympics without you in it.
Mm-hmm.
So go make the team. We're all going to be in Eugene. But, Sunday, if we're all at the hotel and Team USA says, actually, we're not going until we get a cut, something will get done.
Yep.
But it has to be all of you. Because if just one of you says it, they'll replace you.
Yesterday.
Got to be everybody.
well, talking about championships with Foot World Athletics in front of it, and you get the new news that the World Championships will be the culminating event for the season. So it's been discussed, and there are people on both sides of the coin of this, for what I've read on social media today. So let's talk about it.
Yeah, I'm just gonna throw that out there. I don't know what two sides of this there are. Again, if you want professionalism, this is what professional sports looks like.
Yep.
At the end of the season, there is the culminating event, there's the championship,
Yep.
and then everybody goes home and does what they do until the start of the next season.
Yep.
It's the way it's supposed to be. It's the way it should be. It's a wildly good idea coming out of the idiot shop for once. I don't understand how anybody's upset about this. If someone is, or if someone just wants to take the devil's advocate position and pretend to be upset about this for some good measure, I would love to hear it.
Well,
I mean, this is something we've literally clamored for on this show.
Yes.
Hey.
Right. And the honesty for me only comes out in what are they going to do with the Olympic year?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it can
That's
pause in the Olympic year. I think that's what it said.
I just want to see verbiage that says that, right? Yeah. But again, see, but now I got to play it all the way out. If there's a world championship in year 1, 2, and 3, the Olympics better start paying me like the world championship does, because otherwise we're devaluing the Olympics because
Yes.
we ain't getting paid for that.
Right.
But don't
Right?
think the world athletics isn't sinister enough to devalue the Olympics.
Yeah.
100%.
So
Right?
the optimist in me is saying, wow, finally. All right. The pessimist in me is going, I can't wait to see how much the prize money has gone down.
Right.
Think about what I just said.
Right.
Because everything World Athletics has done has been to take the same pot and slice it up. Okay? To go from Golden 4 to Diamond League and still have the same pot
Same
and
pot.
chop it up. So I would like to see that the World Championships are not devalued just because they're every year. But the pessimist in me says that's exactly what's going to happen.
And now let's go crazy and play along, right? There's indoor world championships, folks.
Yep.
So are we gonna have indoor world championships every year?
Every year?
So that means we're gonna have indoor worlds and outdoor worlds every year?
Wow.
Short track.
Sorry.
No, I'm calling it indoor. I refuse. And you know what? It was the Pac-10. I refuse to call it the Pac-12 either. So but you see where I'm going? Like, I'm hoping for all these things. Because then there's money that can go around made on choices. Because obviously you're not going to choose to do indoor and outdoor worlds every year. Like, you can't survive that.
Right.
Right? So then maybe the money could be spread around to some degree. I don't know. But wait, Governor, what about the Diamond League final?
Well, it's funny you should ask that because it looks like you will compete in the Diamond League, you will compete in the Diamond League final, and then you will have the World Championships.
But we have mentioned on this show many times that this sport is very Euro-centered.
Yes.
So what, pray tell, do they do with the European Championships?
You run it earlier, damn it.
or
you run it 2 weeks before Worlds or a month.
If they're the
so you go European
objects.
Championships, and then the following week you have the Diamond League final, and the following week you have the World Championships.
Hey, this ain't my problem.
It ain't. Yeah, you pick, choose, and refuse. But
like that song says, it ain't my fault.
But since the Diamond League final can't be bigger than the World Championship, and the European Championship can't be bigger than the World Championship,
yep,
you got all summer to figure it out.
Absolutely.
So what we're trying to tell you, wonderful people, is the thing that you're now going to hear from these wonderful tiles is, for the first time in the history of the sport, something European has been devalued by World Athletics.
Yep.
It has never happened before, but they have finally because that's the whole reason why the World Championship was every 2 years.
Yep.
Because the European Championship had to take precedent in those years. So they have finally, because we called it the off year, because we didn't have a championship that year, right? So finally, the European Championship has been put in its place as an area championship with every other area championship.
So finally, the guy or the lady, beautiful lady sitting across the table, you're going, all right, this is going to hurt, okay? But this is what it's going to be, okay?
Yep.
Done.
But I tell you what, they better figure this calendar out, boy, because you got an indoor. If you got indoor worlds, outdoor Diamond League final, and outdoor World Championships In 1 year?
in 1 year.
And the minute I see or hear a coach or a professional athlete complaining about championships every year, we need to adopt our own version of the panda from JD or the dunce cap or something. Because again, what do you mean?
Yeah,
We're not going to have the World Series every year? We're not
exactly.
going to have the Super Bowl every year?
We're not going to have the NBA championships.
Yeah,
every-
just every other year is something to play for the NBA championship. What are you talking about?
They have an NCAA championship indoors and outdoors every year.
Hey, if you're
Seems to
tired,
work out.
if you're tired, take a nap. Ain't nobody said you had to go, but we're going.
Woo, buddy.
Last but not least,
I know.
the big
As
league.
if there's one more piece of shenanigans, if you believe that or not, and there's probably more that we're not even going to touch. But there's a rumor that not only will be running a billion and 2 times a year in championships, but you'll be running in all of the lanes. So, Mr. Seiko,
And the qualifying criteria is what?
Mr. Seiko.
It's my favorite. We go back to, when track was track, when you had semifinals and you had to be in the top 3 or 4, and that's how you made the final. So now, because they refuse to ever get rid of the thing that Clyde and I hate the most, which is the 3 semi.
Yeah.
Now what do? We throw good money after bad. Now we're going to auto qualifier only out of the 3 semis.
Right.
First, second, and third. And in order to do that, somebody's running in lane 1 in the semi, in the 200, and the 400, and the 400 hurdles.
Yep.
And I wish you the best.
27
At least you'll qualify yourself to that.
27 people will be in the semi.
There'll be 27 people in the semi. Mind you, that's from 36 that they let in the meets. I need people to understand that. We're going to run around to eliminate 9 people.
Okay, listen.
So they're eliminating 9 people.
It's when you start it from the beginning like you just did, it is laughable, yes.
Oh, God.
It is ridiculous, yes. However,
it's better.
It's better because I don't give a damn if you're in the first round and the best you can do is earn yourself lanes 1 and 2 in the semifinal. Well, damn it, you deserve to get your ass whooped, and you probably shouldn't have been running in the semifinal anyway. So you got your trophy. You're going to get your little bonus points for making it to the semifinal. So go on with your business. I would much rather.
Well,
see,
what it does.
You touched on something more nefarious in there.
Oh, absolutely.
There's 3 more people that are going to get bonus points for making the semi.
I get it. Now, I will give those gifts away, and they are gifts. I will give 100%. Those gifts away if I don't have to watch Human X be victimized by the semifinal that they are in because
I hate it. Yeah,
kicked up or whatever. Race your ass to the final.
Yeah,
1, 2, 3.
Let's be clear. We're making fun of it, but look, they made the best of a terrible situation.
Yes.
So you will 3 semifinals was a terrible idea. Right. This is as good as you can do with it.
Because what you do is you eliminate the next 2 or 3 qualifiers that end up in a heat that all of a sudden the wind turns around, or all of a sudden the wind goes from 1.8 down to 0.8. Now you are lining up 9 people, woman against woman, man against man, top 3 to the finish, regardless of time. Have at it.
And it's better.
It's better.
If you can't, if you're in the semifinal, you can be top 3. You don't deserve to be in the final any damn way.
Yes.
Listen, the people who love this rule the most are the people who over the last 6 years have been in the hot semi
Yes.
and got dipped on at the line, and they got third and had to go to what was that place called?
Oh,
the Q
Lord.
room,
You room, baby.
Oh,
right?
Lord.
They had look. Here's the best part: we'll no longer ever see a Q room
We'll never see it.
because that debacle was horrible. But
Oh, it was fun.
we will no longer ever have to worry about little Qs.
It was Clyde Petty, but it's the World
And
Championships, man.
And I'll say this: you have a right to beef if you were third in a hot semi.
Yes.
If you're fourth in a hot semi, I don't care. I don't.
I mean,
All
even
right. So like, if
That's right. You lost to 3 people.
right, you lost to 3 people.
that's right.
There's nothing there. I don't care. It still happens in college, right? There's nothing more odd than being the athlete yourself or being the coach, and the results pop up on your phone. And you have to explain, but I beat them.
Yeah.
Right.
I ran faster than them.
Yep.
Why am I here and they're in the next race? I'm like, hey man, hey.
When you look at the results and you see big Q, big Q, big Q, big Q, little Q, nothing, big Q,
Yeah.
You know,
you're like, but they
I'm
ran
not here for
faster
it.
than them. Yeah, I know.
Not here for it. Oh yeah, 1, 2,
Again,
line it up and race. 1, 2, 3.
When we cut the numbers from 48 to 36, you knew you were going to have, like, that dictated us going down the road of 3 semis. 3 semis has been a bastardization of the sport of track and field for a very long time. If we are stuck with 3 semis for forever, this is literally the greatest improvement they could possibly have given.
Yep.
They also have changed tracks and track building for forever, because now the standardized track is going to have 9 lanes on it.
Yes.
That's right. That's right.
Like, that's just a fact. Every new track that gets built from now on above the high school level is going to have 9 lanes or more on it.
Absolutely.
Right? I mean, it's going to be what it is.
Which means more money for those people. It's more money for everybody except the athlete.
Yeah, 100%.
So, man, World Athletics is doing World Athletics things.
You know, at least today they passed 2 classes.
Yes.
You know, they failed 7, but they still passed 2. We'll give them credit for what they did good today.
Oh man, well, as we always do, we just keep finding foundation to keep building on top, and praying and hoping for the best. We'll keep working our tails off to get more and more and more.
Well, they better tune in next week for the vaunted yearly predictions contest.
Oh,
Chew, you better start studying now.
I mean, apparently I'm the only one that has the time to study because I don't have athletes in there. So,
I mean,
but anyways, with that being said, y'all, we hope we got to giggle a little bit and laugh at what this all is, and get to talk about the new topics of World Athletics and whatnot. I don't know about the other tiles, but I got several text messages leading up into recording today about, oh, I can't wait to see what you guys say about this. I can't wait to see what you guys say about that. And I'm sitting there like, okay, I know, just wait. So other than that, everyone have a great week. Everyone get some rest before you leave to Natty's, no matter which site you're going to. And just wait. The annual prediction show is coming up. So I'll tidy up at home and we'll get to
let the debauchery begin.
Alrighty, everyone. Have a great night. We'll